I think Ben Simmons should retire. Ben Simmons, for years, has just been a player who's been okay with being good. Just okay with being just the way he is. He doesn't care about improving. He doesn't care about actually showcasing his God-given talents and abilities that he's had since he's entered the league, by the way. Ben Simmons hasn't really gotten much better since his rookie year, if at all. If at all. Ben Simmons is a guy who can coast on his natural talent, doesn't care to improve, doesn't care to continuously try to get better, especially on the offensive end of the floor. Ben Simmons at this point in his career is essentially a net negative offensively. If you have Ben Simmons on your team and he's on the court, you're essentially handicapped. You are playing 4 on 5 on the offensive end of the floor. Defensively, okay, we can get into that, but there comes a point where his offensive limitations severely hinder any value that he brings defensively. And in layman's terms, his horrible offensive game does not make up for anything that he brings defensively. Whatever he brings defensively is simply not good enough to counteract his horrible offensive arsenal. Ben Simmons is not a good NBA player. Here I am, some dude on my couch. Okay, sure. But at the same time, what I'm saying is true. Ben Simmons doesn't really make the Clippers much better. This isn't a really crazy all-world sign. It's a nice roster pickup for a guy who can go out and play some good defense, rebound, and pass the ball 15 to 20 minutes a night, and that's it. The Clippers need to be careful because if they do end up making a deep run in the playoffs, Ben Simmons cannot see the floor much, if at all. And crazy, I'm saying that he's a former All-Star, former All-NBA, All-Defensive. I don't care. None of those accolades mean anything to me, and they shouldn't mean anything to you either. Because the Ben Simmons we see today is not a Ben Simmons, is not a player who can actually help a championship team. He helps, sure, maybe somewhat on the defensive end, like I said, but he hurts them way more on the offensive end. If you're a guy that doesn't look at the basket, doesn't even try to score at times, doesn't even try to go for the ball and call for the ball at times, that's not a guy I want on my team, especially if I'm a team like the Clippers who potentially might be able to make a small, or I should say, sneaky run in the playoffs this year. Ben Simmons is not a guy that I want on my team. I don't care what his defensive abilities are. I don't care what his defensive skill set is. I have enough defense with Kawhi, with some of my wing defenders, and those guys are actually plus offensive players who can shoot, who do shoot, who will shoot. Ben Simmons cannot and will not shoot, and won't. He's 27 almost, and sure, the young potential label. Yeah, okay. He is young. He still has some potential. But the potential that he has is not something we can use to make excuses for. Any sort of potential that he currently has, frankly, to me, doesn't even exist. He doesn't actually tap into that potential. He hasn't. And he's going to be 27. He probably won't. Ben Simmons is one of the worst offensive players